He's been out the last 15 games with a knee injury between the pipes for the Calgary Flames. At the other end, it's Victor Fost. They're alternating Scrivens and Fost, and they've both been very good since they were acquired by the Oilers. Fost is 2-0-1 in his brief time so far with Edmonton. Referees tonight, Tim Peel and Ian Walsh. Your linesmen are Scott Cherry and Trent Knorr. Each team has won 2 games so far in the season series, both in the other building. Calgary Flames like playing at Rexall Place. They've won 3 straight here. And Kelly, they've won 7 of their last 9 games in Edmonton.
And they're just playing great defensive hockey right now. You go back the last 8 games, they haven't given up more than 26 shots against, and twice only 14 shots against in a game. That's pretty spectacular for this young team.
Last night, 6-5 loss to Nashville, sort of against the trend for Calgary. It was a wild one as we're underway in Edmonton. Ference has control of the puck. Cross-ice pass, Perron tips it in. Russell back, bumping Perron in the corner. Puck goes behind the net. That's Sam Gagner on the forecheck. Ference activates from the point. Down low for Gagner behind the net. Threw it out front. Butler's there to clear the puck to the boards. And it's played out to center ice. Intercepted there by David Perron, who retreats back to his own blue line. Under pressure from Glenn Cross. Turns away as Glenn Cross retreats. Perron with a long backhand pass to Hall. Slides it into Gagner. Weak shot wide. Perron onto it left corner. Puts the puck back down low. Oilers control in the zone and go to work. Gagner cuts out front with a shot. That goes off a stick over the glass and out of play.
Well, we had a look at this first line. The Edmonton Oilers, boy, did they play a ton last game versus the Buffalo Sabres. The ice time, all career highs for all 3 of them. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of ice time, but not nearly as much by those 3 tonight now that Jordan Eberle's back in the lineup, and he's going to get his fair share as well.
Alex Aiken's telling us that that line produced all but one of their scoring chances at even strength last game, and I'm thinking, of course, they never left the ice. They were out there for half the game.
And Taylor Hall, of course, had the power play goal, too, so strong play by them on Thursday.
TJ Brodie for the puck in the corner, coughs it up out front, bouncing around. Byron hustles over to take it away, and the Flames break back to center ice. Dump the puck in. Paul Byron on the forecheck. Petrie beats him to it up the boards, and it clear did. Giordano put it back in on net, but the Flames were offside. Now they decide to make a change. Oilers follow suit. Fresh legs off both benches. Jeff Petrie to Marincin. Long pass to Jones at center. He'll put it in deep. Ramo out of the goal, fires the puck up the far boards and out. Oscar Klefbom goes back to it. He circles his own net. Long lead pass. Finds Gazdic at the line. Can't take it. Lost it for a moment, but Oilers recover. Ryan Smith brings the puck to center ice. The old veteran chips it in. He'll hit it in the forecheck. Wotherspoon back. Will fire the puck up the boards. Klefbom activates from the point. Puck in skates. Monahan's there. He coughs it up. Jones keeps the play alive, but had his pocket picked on a good play there by Agostino. And the Flames get the puck to center. Colborne puts it in, turns to the bench on a change. It's past the 2-minute mark of a scoreless first period. Mark Fraser, long lead pass up the right wing, too far for Boyd Gordon. The Flames put it back into the zone. Klefbom there across to Fraser. His pass intercepted by Boma, playing center ice tonight on that 4th line with the return of Westgarth to the lineup. Sat out last night's game.
Bowman can play all 3 forward positions, too. That's what he's so valuable amongst other things.
Westgarth battling along the far boards. Boma comes in to help out. Westgarth flips it back to the point. McGrath with a weak shot. Goes off a skate right to the goalie. And it's covered up by Victor Fost. And it looks like we may be getting a penalty out of this, Kelly. Somebody got high sticked in that scramble behind the net.
And it's just when Westgarth is going to the front of the net, and he gets a stick up right there on Klefbom. So Westgarth goes away for 2 minutes or less. Right here is just aggressive and trying to go in front of the net. A weak shot by McGrath and snuck through. There's no question he's going to be okay, though.
So Calgary's power play has 6 goals last 6 games, goes to work. Scoreless early in this one. Taylor Hall trying to keep the play alive, taken away and cleared out by Butler. Roughing the call on Westgarth, 2:49 mark, first period. Justin Schultz, the Kelowna native, out to center ice. Drop pass in the neutral zone. Gagne feeds it in right side. Now they set it up. Schultz will chip the puck to Taylor Hall in the corner, but he gave it away to Butler. Good anticipation there. Can't clear it out. Kept on side at the right point by Schultz. Perron, Schultz. Left circle, Gagne throws it out front. That goes across the crease and out the other side. Hall gets it back to the line to Schultz. Hard pass down low for Gagne. Lets it go behind the net for Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith tied with Glenn Anderson all-time Oiler power play goals, looking for that record power play marker as Hall has control. There's Perron. Smith's out front. Over to Gagne. To Smith. He couldn't get a stick on it. Butler poked it away behind the net. Sam Gagne sets up on the left side. Good pressure on the power play. Perron tried to feed it out front. That goes off Giordano's stick and out of play. 54 seconds left of the power play.
Now, is it that the Edmonton Oilers are trying too hard to get Ryan Smith that record-tying goal right here? There he is right at doorstep. Good play by Butler. Then there's another chance also that they tried it. Ryan Smith, of course, as you said, tied with Glenn Anderson. What an amazing accomplishment that is for Ryan Smith, and he's going to get it, guarantee you, before the season's over. How's that, Rick, for a prediction?
I like that prediction, and I think he will, although not on this power. Plays on the bench now. The other unit's out there as the shot goes wide around the boards back to the point where Petrie hustles over to keep it in. Backlund pressures him, but the Oilers keep the play alive in the offensive zone. Michael Backlund, though, able to recover and take it away from Jones. Puck at center ice. Eberle right back in with speed. Look at Eberle go. Trying to cut out front. Poked off the stick wide of the goal. Jordan Eberle with a great burst over the line. Almost walked in home free. Petrie at the right point. Eberle back to Petrie at the line. Fakes the shot over on the right side. Oilers throw it towards the front of the goal. Back to Petrie off a skate with a shot. They score! Jeff Petrie with a power play goal makes it 1-0 Edmonton.
Well, that's what happens when you get your shot through. Jeff Petrie gets an opportunity because Lance Bowman is going to lose his stick. So it's going to make it more difficult for the PK. And then you see Petrie with Gazdic right in front. Excellent play. Make sure that take away the eyes from Kerry Ramo. And you can see Ramo, after missing 15 games, it's hard to get ready as Ryan Jones, hard to see all the through the traffic when you've missed 15 games and your eyes are trying to get caught up to the speed of the play.
Great screen by Ryan Jones. Didn't have a stick. Perfect position. Ramo, no chance to see that shot. Petrie with a 6th goal of the season for him. On the power play, and the Oilers draw first blood in the Battle of Alberta. Nugent Hopkins and Eberle pick up the helpers. Flames look to answer back. Played back to Russell at the line with a shot. Blocked away by Fost. Rebound goes to the far side. Agostino puts it to the corner. Picked up by Monahan. Back to the line to Russell. Russell long shot. Deflects off Gordon wide. Wrap around by Colburn to stop. Puck bounces back to the line. Wotherspoon on the right side to Monahan. Sean Monahan in the corner now to Colborn. Works it up the boards. Cuts across the blue line over to Chris Russell. Russell with another shot. That goes off the goaltender Fost and wide. Puck winds up in the far corner. Fraser over to it there. Monahan watching him. Fraser calmly puts it behind the net, which it's off the moorings. And finally the official notices and blows the whistle.
Every goaltender will tell you after you miss some amount of time that dealing with traffic is the hardest thing. And that's why this is so important that Ryan Jones goes to the front of the net. You can see from that angle, Kerry Ramo just had no way of picking up that puck. He's trying to go to his left, look through his left. But Ryan Jones does such a wonderful job just on the very edge of the blue paint.
That's how you do it.
Yep.
Won't show up on the score sheet as Andrew Ference with a hard hit in the corner knocks Hoodler down. But a big impact on that goal for the Oilers. Approaching the 6-minute mark in the first period, Sam Gagne turns deep in his own zone and works the puck ahead to Hall. Cross ice pass, picked up off the boards by Schultz. Flying down the wing, out front, Perron jammed it on goal. Ramo now makes the save. Perron gets it back. Gagne now, Hall. Trying to get it back to Perron. Pass was blocked by Glencross. Brody takes it away and he'll wheel out the center ice for the Flames. Tipped in by Stajan. Pressuring Schultz. Schultz fires it around. Perron with control, right wing center ice. Plays it on goal. Ramo makes the easy save. Oilers start a change. Chris Russell goes back to it. Flames defenseman lead pass tipped in by Camilleri. They're going to wave off icing. Petrie goes back. Almost popped it up to Byron, but Lander gets control and feeds it out the center ice to Everly. Nugent Hopkins with him. The pass deflected behind the net by Russell. Nugent Hopkins gets it down low. Butler bumps into him. Everly comes in to help out. Backlund in there for the Flames as well. They get it back to the point to Petrie. Just kept it onside. Everly now works it across the line. Nugent Hopkins in the corner, back for Lander. He'll pick it up on the half boards. Anton Lander cycles the puck back to Nugent Hopkins. Down low for Jordan Everly. Everly twisting off the wall, got it out front, but a good job to poke it away by Backlund, and here come the Flames. Camilleri out the center to Byron. He'll fire it in. Mike Camilleri, lone man on the forecheck, as Petrie gets back for Edmonton and plays the puck into the corner. Marincin there. Back to Petrie. Long pass to Jones at the blue line. Bumped by Schmid. Jones and Schmid still battling. Gazdic on the ice, bumping with Westgard. Ryan Smith gets the puck back to the line. Klefbom will flip it up the boards, and Westgard and Gazdic drop the gloves. And we remember what happened 3 weeks ago when Westgard was KO'd by Luke Gazdic in this very building. Both still hanging in. Two big men going at it. Throwing right hands. Gazdic with an uppercut that misses.
Westgard very defensive in this fight, and I don't blame him.
And now the linesmen jump in. How tough is that after what happened March 1st? To step back in the ring with Luke Gazdic.
We go back to March 1st, and we all remember this, where Gazdic gets him with a couple, and that was it for Westgard. Out with the concussion after that. Awfully proud guy, though. Had a feeling back in the lineup that he's going to try and get some respect back, and here's how it all started. Not quite 8 minutes into the first period.
So they'll sit for 5 each. Jeff Petrie with a power play goal. The Oilers lead the Flames 1-0 in Edmonton on Hockey Night in Canada. Putting acquaintances and talking during the entire commercial break at the penalty box, Kelly.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch, and not like I'm going to get you or look out next shift. It was like a good-natured conversation. Both were smiling in the penalty box. So we'll see if this continues or if it's over now.
I think anybody who does that for a living knows that it could just as easily be them at the other end of that punch.
No question about it.
A lot of mutual respect in that, John. Here's Byron trying to cut out front as the Flames look for the equalizer. 1-0 Oilers lead as we approach the 8-minute mark of the first period. Backlund to Camilleri, who's been white hot of late. 2 goals last game, 9 in his last 10. But he lost the puck along the wall to Petrie. Sam Gagner now over to Marincin. Alice Aikens with high praise for Marincin today. Perron working it in.
He's got the green light, doesn't he, to join the rush if it's there, because he skates so well, and if he makes a bad read, he can always get back defensively.
TJ Brodie jumps up on the rush for the Flames, flips the puck to Camilleri, back to Giordano, scores! Off the post and in! It's all defensemen scoring tonight, 1-1 game.
Mark Giordano has had just such a good feel this year when to jump in the play. Everybody knows how his game has taken off after being given the captaincy, but Brodie starts this with great skating, and Giordano just follows that up. Nice little dish here from Camilleri right back. One-timer. Perfect shot from Giordano. This Fast gets quite a bit of this one, but just tips it to the upper part of the net. He looked to be in pretty good position, but Giordano stepped right into that one.
Nice play by TJ Brodie doing the flyby, and the shot came through as well. So,
talk about a great skating defenseman.
Giordano's been on a tear too. He's now got 14 points in his last 12 games. Back come the Flames. A shot by Agostino goes wide of the goal.
8 minutes, 29 seconds.
We'll have another barn burner tonight in terms of offense, Kelly.
I call like that.
Puck play to the front of the Flames goal, cut off by Ramo, and he covers up for a faceoff.
Talked about how Mark Giordano has an offensive flair. Take a look at the numbers. Averaging per game. That's quite a stat, isn't it, when you think of Mark Giordano tied with Duncan Keith for second most points per game for a defenseman?
You would put that together.
Well, normally you think of him as just such a great defenseman that doesn't really focus much on the offense, and he's been terrific. We know Duncan Keith and Erik Karlsson like to get involved offensively, but not as much Mark Giordano. That just tells you what confidence can do for you.
Shot from the point by Schultz and steered away by Ramo. And Bob Hartley loves Giordano's leadership as well. He compared it personality-wise to Joe Sakic a while back.
What a compliment.
That's a good compliment, absolutely. 1-1 game approaching the midway mark. Here's Hudler in center ice. First period of play. They work it in. Glencross with a shot. Pad save, and puck is covered up. Fast is able to hang on.
Everybody knows turnovers are hurt you. Right here is one. Yuri Hudler with a quick pass, and Justin Schultz steps up. Pretty good wrister from Curtis Glencross, trying to find his legs. You know, he's had 2 leg injuries already, Glencross. And that's awfully difficult to come back from. He had a knee and an ankle injury.
6 game back. He has 3 points in the previous 5 coming off the latest injury. Tyler Wotherspoon at his own line. Gets it ahead to big Brian McGrath at center ice. Pressure by Fraser. McGrath slides it in, but that's going to be icing on Calgary. Well, Rick joins athletes training in Vancouver and Lethbridge for this summer's Commonwealth Games on an all-new Rick Mercer report. That's Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on CBC TV. Face off to the right of Ramo. Sam Gagner on the drop. Perron gets control, trying to fire it back to the line. Monahan able to intercept and clear the zone. Now the Flames will change up after the icing call. They got a partial change in, but the Oilers are right back into the zone. Shot off the wing. Big rebound. Hall couldn't get to it. Cleared away at the last second for the top of the crease. Hall in the corner, watched by Schmid. Camilleri knocked away from him. Taylor Hall with control. Plays it down low for Perron behind the net. Gagner's out front. Perron looking there. Can't pass. Turns to the boards. Brody watching Perron and knocks him down in the corner. Hall follows up. Gagner. Hall trying to cut out front. Backlund checks Hall. Takes control of the puck, and the Flames will work it out to center ice. TJ Brody ahead to Byron. Just inside the line. Back for Brody. Just a little too far. Brody in the corner. Twisting and turning. Leaves the puck along the wall. Picked up there by Michael Backlund. Now Camilleri fires it out front. That goes off a skate. Cleared to the line, and it hops over the stick of Giordano and out to center ice. Past the midway mark. First period of play in a 1-1 game. Mark Giordano. Monahan fires it in. Agostino to it in the corner, but the Oilers able to take control. Monahan steals it back for a moment. Now it's poked out to center ice by Matt Hendricks. We'll be joining Kelly and Scott on After Hours along with Jordan Everly. Should be a good one.
We'll get a chance to look at the paralyzer. Do you know the shootout move?
It sounds like something you drink on a long weekend. It is. He's 53% the shootout in his career.
Quite a move.
See the welt on his left leg as well today. They took a Shea Weber shot. It was nasty.
He gets a welt. He's not that tough, I guess, huh?
Everly flips it in. Puck played down the ice. And this will be icing on Calgary with 8:16 to go in the first period.
Gagner line with Hall and Perron has been dangerous again tonight, just like they were last game versus Buffalo. Here's a good chance right here. Hall going to the front of the net. Ramos just able to deflect that, and then Taylor Hall's going to go after Michael Backlund. Nice little collision right there. Tries to slow him up before he can get involved in the play offensively.
Giordano with a lead pass as the Flames work it out after the face-off. Hudler tipped it in, but not deep. Oilers turn it back the other way. Everly out to center ice. Ahead to Lander. Back for Everly. Top of the circle. Tries a shot. Ramo easy save. Steers that into the corner. Stage and bumping with Lander. Lander gets the puck out front. It's shot high and wide by Schultz. Ramo come across. Schultz tried to pick the corner and missed. Play stays in the Calgary zone. Nugent Hopkins down low. Spinning away from Giordano. Plays the puck to the corner to Everly. Now Lander. Knocked away from him. Schultz pinches. Can't keep it onside. Puck slides to center ice. Flames with a 6-5 edge in shots. Oilers back in. Long shot blockered away by Ramo. Puck bounced off the back of Bowman. It's carried out the center ice by Backlund. McGrattan now with a long slap shot on goal. Steered out of play by Foss. 7:16 left in the first period. It's a 1-1 game. The Flames and the Oilers in Edmonton on Hockey Night in Canada.
It's Ryan Smith in our Subway Restaurants buyout tonight. He seems destined to finish his career as the franchise's power play goal leader. Needs one more for 127 to break that tie with Glenn Anderson. Very first goal of his career, November 24th, 95, was a power play goal against the Calgary Flames. Says it's the only one of his 126 man advantage markers that he can recall scoring from outside the blue paint. And of course, he's famous for his work in the crease, the punishment he takes to stay there. His rough estimate is that at least half of his power play goals have gone in off his body or with quick touch deflections. Rick?
Thanks. Scott Dalzakin saying today, Kelly, that yeah, the guys may be cheating their power play system a little bit to try and get Ryan Smith the goal. Yeah, but he doesn't have a problem with it.
Well, I don't either. Can you blame him? Part of history.
One of very few records that Wayne Gretzky doesn't hold. He's right now in third with 125 career power play goals as an Oiler. Smith time to Glenn Anderson. Oilers go back to work. Gordon with a shot off the boards. Wrap around by Hendricks. Ramo able to stretch across, keep the puck out. And now Camilleri will tip it out. Trying to pull away down the wing. Byron joins him on the rush shot by Camilleri off the outside of the post. Bouncing rebound, chopped out front. Byron couldn't swat it towards the goal. Hendricks back to it. Watched by Backlund. Wotherspoon activates. He'll play it around to the far side. Byron's there. Petrie for the Oilers. Gets the puck ahead. To the line, not out. Played across. Wotherspoon took it off the skate, but it slides to center ice. Both teams start a change as the Flames dump it back in. Stajan steals out front for Hoodlers. Knocked away by Gagne. Glencross follows up. He can't get a stick to it. Gagne winds up with control. Clears the zone to center ice. Yuri Hoodler's there. Retreats back to his own blue line. Drops it off for Giordano. He has the Flames goal. Petrie on a power play opened the scoring for the Oilers. A 1-1 game. Just past the 14-minute mark in the first period. Mike Fraser to it. Turns away from Glencross, who falls. Flips it ahead. Monahan able to keep it onside. Fraser gets it back. Colburn stole it for a moment, but now Gagne controls. Nice pass to Hall. With a step on Brody. Hall out front. Hooked. Stop. Rebound goes wide. And a penalty shot coming up for Taylor Hall as T.J. Brody got the hook. No. Pardon me.
He pointed at center.
I think he was pointing the face-off coming outside the zone.
Okay.
My apologies. I saw that too,
Yes,
Kelly.
absolutely. What a burst of speed by Taylor Hall, though. That's on T.J. Brody, an excellent skating defenseman. Gets a step on him right here. Get those big legs of Taylor Hall going, though, and that's an awfully tough play for a defenseman to try and stop him from going to the front of the net.
So Brody didn't even take a penalty on that play. Faceoff will come outside the zone. We're still tied at 1 with 5.5 left.
Starts with the forecheck right here. He doesn't let up at all, and then he's going to get a puck on the right side of Ramo and wraparound. Terrific play by Ramo, and who else but Mike Camilleri with a great chance right there, hitting the outside of the post. And then again, Taylor Hall, those great legs, taking this puck to the front of the net, and Ramo taking away the 5-hole.
And as we saw the replay, T.J. Brody made a nice play because he touched the puck first with a stick. So there was no penalty shot. We thought for a second there might have been, but the signal was the face-off coming outside the zone. And a 1-1 game, approaching the final 5 minutes of the first. Puck in the Oilers' end. Butler knocks it free. Monahan turns with a shot, and that goes off a leg into the corner as Ferentz got in the way of that one. Colburn cuts off the boards with a shot, deflected wide. Lander will chip it to the line and out. Played back in by Butler. Flames caught offside and the whistle blows.
Boy, is there a confidence coming out of Joe Colburn right now, using that big body. Here's a great example of what he can do. It's going to be cycled down by Augustino, and then Colburn with great strength puts it to the front of the net. Monahan can't get that loose puck, but this is a player that has really taken giant strides. He is now a bona fide National Hockey League player.
.24-year-old Calgary native. Oilers control the puck off the draw. Jones will chip it in, trying to step around Schmid. Waterspoon hustles over to help out, and Boma takes control. Nice pass to McGrattan. Down the right wing. Her chip and chase. Gazdic goes to it in the corner. McGrattan with a hard hit on Gazdic down low. Puck played up the board. Schmid pinches. Poke past him by Smith and out to center ice. Boma tips it back in again. Klefbom back. Boma on the forecheck. Klefbom steps around the other side. Nice play to work it up to Jones, right wing center. End of his shift, puts it deep. Perron on the forecheck. Throws a shoulder into Brody, but Brody makes a play, and the Flames work it out to center ice. Boma, nice pass to Camilleri. Works it across the line to Giordano. Top of the circle with a shot. He put it wide. Penalty coming up to the Oilers. Ramo goes to the bench. Giordano lost the puck. And with Hall touching it, the Oilers go to the box, and the Flames on the power play.
2 minutes for hooking.
Taylor Hall off for hooking at the 16:01 mark, Kelly.
And he's a little confused what the penalty is. It's right there. Gets his stick in the hands of Mike Camilleri, but he's looking up at the score clock, trying to figure out what the call was.
Flames on the power play for the first time tonight. 6 goals their last 6 games as they go to work in the offensive zone, but Gordon there to take control, backhanded down the ice in a 1-1 game, 3.5 left in the first period. Mark Giordano. Nice pass on the left wing. Monahan dumps it in. Foss out of the goal to stop it. Wires it around the glass. Russell keeps it onside. Camilleri. Plays it down low. Pass back to Russell. Back to Monahan. Trying to cut out front. High slot with a wrister off the glove of Foss. Can't hang on to it though. Giordano works it back to the corner to Camilleri. His pass out front was blocked. Now he plays it back to Russell. Chris Russell works it down the wall. Feeds it to Monahan in the corner. Knocked off his stick. Nugent Hopkins trying to muscle it out. Loose puck in front of the goal. Camilleri gets the puck to Giordano with a shot, and he had a lot on that one, but he put it wide. Giordano looking for his second goal of the period. He'll get it back with some room. Rolling puck, settles it down, fires it back to Camilleri, right circle with a slapper. That goes off traffic wide of the goal. 30 seconds left in the power play. Camilleri again up front, tipped on goal by Backlund, and Foss able to make the save and hang on.
Here's another example of Mark Giordano where he says an idea, hey, when can I sneak in there? That one he shoots a little bit wide. Then we're going to see this nifty little play, quick play by Camilleri right in front to Backlund, but Foss took away that angle for the deflection.
Yuri Hudler with a cross-ice pass. Second unit out there. Here's Butler off the boards. Weak shot on a rolling puck. Bounced off Marincin. Kept onside by Brody. To Hudler. Colborne lost his stick but has a new one. Played back to Brody. Hopped over his stick and out to center ice. 5 seconds left in Hall's penalty. And that should do it as the Oilers control. Penalty is over. Taylor Hall out of the box. 1 shot on goal for Calgary. Inside the final 2 minutes of the period. Here comes Hall down the wing. Hall with a wrister, put it wide. Puck back to the right point to Petrie. On the boards to Gagne. David Perron to it near side. Back to the line, tipped out by Byron. Petrie hustles back to get control. Oilers put it back in. Perron on the forecheck. Bumping Butler in the corner. Boma comes in. Taylor Hall's there as well. He winds up with the puck behind the net. Hall centering it, deflects over top of the goal. Back to the blue line. Gagne kept it onside, but Boma took it away and he'll work it out to center. Lance Boma over the line. Trying to dance through the D. Can't do it. Cut off by Schultz. And Eberle off the bench takes the puck, but that's going to be too many men because Perron hadn't left the ice yet. And Eberle jumped on and took control. It's another penalty for the Oilers with 1:12 left in the first period.
Oscar Klefbom didn't know that the Oilers were on a line change. That David Perron was going off the ice and Jordan Eberle was coming on the ice. So he noticed an open Oiler player. So he throws a puck over there, but not expecting that change. So happened to be a nice tape-to-tape pass, but they had one too many players on the ice.
18:48 mark. Flames second straight power play. One shot, their last opportunity. Oilers off the faceoff, able to clear the zone. Michael Bachman through center ice. Monahan will dump it in. Final minute of play in the period. Camilleri along the boards. Watched by Gordon and Marincin. Giordano kept it in only for a moment. Hendricks there to backhand it down the ice. Shots dead even at 9 apiece in a 1-1 game. Michael Backlund through center. Petrie doesn't let him get through. Knocks the puck free, and Ryan Smith will work it back the other way. Nugent Hopkins on the PK. Lost the puck in his skates. It bounces to center ice. Fraser played it back, but Ference was on the other side, and it goes deep in the Edmonton zone. Ference able to get it ahead, and it's swept out to center ice. Final 13 seconds of a entertaining first period here at Edmonton. Giordano can't hold the line. So it looks like this power play will carry over to period 2 as the final second ticks off the clock, and we've got 20 minutes in the books here at Edmonton. So goals by Jeff Petrie on the power play and Mark Giordano. Couple of defensemen. 1-1 the score. In Edmonton, the Flames and the Oilers on Hockey Night in Canada. Back to Toronto with Ron MacLean and Don Cherry. Back at Edmonton, final installment of the Battle of Alberta. The Flames and the Oilers tied at 1 as we get set for the second period faceoff. 47 seconds left in a Calgary power play for a too many men on the ice penalty late in that first period. Second power play of the night for the Flames. They're 0 for 1, and they'll set up in their own zone as Chris Russell slowly works it ahead to Camilleri at center ice. Fires the puck in. Hendricks back forward, puts the puck to the far corner. Where to go? It deflected up in the air. It's on the far wall. Backlund takes control. Feeds it down low for Camilleri. Trying to cut out front. He's cut out by Marincin. Camilleri gets it back for Backlund. He couldn't get a shot away. His stick was tied up by Hendricks. And we've got a penalty coming up here.
Well, Michael Backlund's going to the penalty box.
Number 11, minor penalty.
We'll take a look here what happens. There's Backlund, yeah. No question right there. When Ference is going to the net, there's a bit of a hook or a hold right there. Well, there it is, holding the stick. How's that? Could have called a couple of different things on him, though.
So he sits. We have some 4-on-4 for 19 seconds, and barring any more penalties, the Oilers will get their second power play. In a matter of moments as Byron blows a tire, gets back up, and turns up ice with Monahan, who takes the pass over the line on the right side. Drops it off for Butler with a wrister up high over the glove of Foss. Puck bounces off the inboard glass. And now the Oilers are on the power play as Eberle, who was serving that penalty, steps out of the box. They're 1 for 1 with the power play. One shot on goal. That was the Jeff Petrie marker as Hall works it into Schultz. Back to Hall. On the right side, Taylor Hall. Nice cross-ice pass to Gagne. Fakes back to Schultz at the line. Gagne for the one-timer, deflected just wide of the goal. There's Ryan Smith in his office in front of the crease. Taylor Hall. Back to the line to Schultz. Over to Gagne. To Schultz. Smith out front. Shot tipped on goal. Ramos save. Rebound poked wide by Perron. Smith to Hall, their boards. Back to Gagne. Schultz. Hall. Looking to the goal. Retreating back to the line. Gagne sneaking in backdoor. Schultz tips it over there. Gagne got in deep. The Flames able to get to it first, and Giordano puts it down the ice. Half minute left in the power play. 2 minutes into the second period. Justin Schultz out of his own zone. Now Eberle. Lander down the right wing. Turns on the half boards. Took a bump from Butler. Nugent Hopkins comes in to help out. Byron watching him. Smith stays out there through a big hit on Schmid. Puck comes to Eberle on the far side. Got it across to Lander. Ryan Smith out there for the full power play. Down low with a shot. Ramo down, paddle down, able to make the save and cover up.
One of the reasons why the Edmonton Oilers getting some chance on the power play. Boy, are their entries ever excellent. They had some good ones in the first period, but there's these two beauties here early in the second. Going to be another great one right here. Boy, this is very effective. And then Ryan Smith in front doing what he does best. Just couldn't quite deflect that one. Then he's going to get a down low play right here and attack the net. Terry Romo takes away everything low on this play.
Backlund's penalty over. He's out of the box. And now we get a whistle. Looked like offside Calgary at the Edmonton blue line. Well, it was an evenly played first period. The score was even after one, Kelly, but the numbers bear out just how evenly played that first 20 minutes was.
Statistically, how's this sound for even? Goals, 1 each. Face-offs, 9 wins each. Shots, well, how about 9 each again? And block shots, 4 apiece. Doesn't get much better, so thanks to that, Dave Moyer.
Best in the business. Breaking down the numbers. Chris Russell. Now Brody at center ice. A 1-1 game as the Flames work it in. Here's Glencross trying to get it out front to Backlund. That pass was cut off. Petrie got in the way. Marincin deep in his own zone. Lander tips it across, and Petrie will bring it out to center ice. Nugent Hopkins and Everly with him. Petrie in deep out front. Deflected away by Backlund. Everly gets it back out front. Nugent Hopkins knocked down, jams the puck on goal. Ramo makes the save. And Brody gets the rebound. And he finds Hudler. Waiting for support. Drop pass, Glencross. Slap shot off the glove of Boston, wide of the goal. Puck bounces behind the net. The Oilers control there, but Hudler knocks it away. Petrie gets it back up the boards. Battle on the near wall. Hudler flips it behind the net. Bost out of the goal to stop it from Marincin. He's pressured. Ahead to Pitlick on the near side. Colborne checks him. Petrie comes over to help out. Calgary putting on pressure, looking to go ahead. Monahan with a shot, and Bost makes the save. And hangs on.
All right, teams fighting for territory in front of the net, but I was watching Victor Fostin warm up, and I noticed it kind of unusual with his glove, and I don't know if this is coincidence because I haven't watched him enough. I freely admit that, but here's my first real good chance to take a look at him, and he's got some real weird things going on tonight. He's had some real problems with a lot of the shots to his glove, and it just looks, again, it could be that he's really unorthodox, or it's just a strange night. I'm going to keep my eye on that the rest of the night and for the rest of the season as well.
Face off to the right of Fost. Scramble draw, puck on the near boards. Cleared out. Pitlick works it in with a shot off the wing. That goes off Wotherspoon's stick and out of play. So we approach the 4-minute mark of the second period. Still a 1-1 game, both goals in the first.
Everybody knows how Calgary Flames are preparing here the last stretch of the regular season. They're breaking the game down in 7-game segments, or the season down in 7-game segments. Look how it's gone the last 20 games, but right now, heading into tonight's game, they're up in this 7-game segment 3-2, so they can close out this 7-game segment with a win, or finish it off with a Game 7 situation. I like the way they're preparing that way. Make it seem as though they're in a playoff run and try and make sure every game is a must-win.
Trying to mimic the pressure of the playoffs. Right. They can't do it perfectly, but it's definitely an interesting approach.
Yep.
Here's a chance out front. They score! Just like that. Flames take the lead. Mike Camilleri, who's had the hot stick, makes it 2-1 Calgary.
Calgary Flames is very tenacious behind the Edmonton Oilers net, and they want to win puck battles right here. Here's a great example of it. They're just not going to be denied. Little turnover right there from Byron, which he does extremely well, and then Camilleri might be one of the best. I know Stamkos is the best right now, but he's one of the best at finding an opening. A little bit of a quiet zone, and Backlund's going to find him with a really quick pass. And Mike Camilleri, we know with that release, he's going to bury that most often.
10 goals, last 11 games. Bob Hartley says the puck's just finding him, and he also, because Backlund set him up there, gave a lot of praise today to Michael Backlund's game. He said he's developed into a really good all-around player, full 200-foot player, and that Camilleri's benefiting from Backlund's maturation.
There's no question about it. In fact, Bob Hartley, his eyes lit up when he was talking about Michael Backlund and the total development of his game.
Backlund gets the only assist, and the Flames have a 2-1 lead approaching the 5-minute mark of the second period. Oilers have to turn the momentum back as Gazdic plays it down low for Jones, behind the net for Smith. taken away by Westgarth. Over to Wotherspoon, and he'll look up ice. Finds Boma at center, passing his skates, trying to pick it up off the boards, can't do it. Shots 13-11 in favor of Calgary. This will be icing on the Oilers.
We apologize for the technical problems we had in showing that Camilleri goal, but we get another look at it right here. You see that wonderful pass, no look pass almost. It's as though Backman knew Camilleri was going to find that spot. Everybody thought that at that point Backman was going to shoot at the net. Foss was caught off guard, not expecting Camilleri to be in that spot.
Camilleri's 23rd goal this season, and he's been on a tear of late. There's Brody trying to spring Stajan, working right out front, knocked off a stick, and a penalty coming up to Fraser as the whistle blows, and this will be a penalty shot. As Stajan, coming in off the left side, had his hand slashed by Mark Fraser, and the Flames with a chance to go up by 2 on a penalty shot.
Brody with just an excellent pass right there. Stajan all alone right there. He may actually lose that puck before Fraser even gets there. No, there is a bit of a, it's in the hands, there's no question. That angle shows it perfectly.
Stajan 1 for 5 in his career on penalty shots. Chance to make it a 2-goal lead. Scores! A beauty on the backhand. And it's 3-1 Calgary.
Victor Foss is really mad, and I understand why. There's no question in this play. He gets far too deep on this play by Stajan. Now, words of encouragement from his teammates. Matt Stajan hasn't had a very easy time of it recently in his personal life, and see Foss is awfully deep right there. And I don't know, once again, if it's that glove that I've noticed is a little bit different, but Stajan goes to the glove side on the backhand.
The Calgary goal scored by number 18.
So goals a minute and 7 seconds apart. Stajan of the penalty shot. The Flames have taken a 1-1 game and turned it into a 3-1 lead.
Flames goal scored by Stajan, unassisted.
So the Oilers try and go to work in the offensive zone. Here's Hall. Perron, sharp angle shot, tapped wide of the goal by Gagne. Brody there, up the boards and out. 2-on-1 possibility. Camilleri with Byron. Camilleri stops to the backhand. And Byron scores! What a setup by Camilleri, and Byron makes it 4-1 Calgary.
Oilers with a big push. It looked as though they were going to make it 3-2. In fact, they get a good chance in the Flame zone. It's that Gagne line again with Perron and Hall. They can't pull the trigger there. Then Marincin is going to make a play at the blue line where he's going to pinch, and that leads to this play. Mike Camilleri with just unbelievable patience, and he feeds Paul Byron, who is a terrific player, really finding his own confidence as well.
Timeout called by Dallas Eakins, trying to settle the Oilers down. 3 goals, a minute and 47 seconds apart by Calgary. Camilleri, Stajan on the penalty shot, and this one right here.
And there's the pinch right there that I was talking about, and that sets up this 2-on-1. Although it's pretty good back pressure by Taylor Hall, but he's unsure where to go, and he leaves Byron as Petrie had left his feet in front of the net. So we're seeing the magic of Mike Camilleri, and Paul Byron has been a real nice addition on that line. But Backlund and Camilleri, they just seem to work well. Byron's not a big guy, everybody knows that. Camilleri's not a big guy, but they play with a lot of heart. So I think when Paul Byron you talked about, and I know we mentioned this last year when the Flames were in Phoenix, what Bob Hartley chose not to do during the Olympic break is send him down to Abbotsford. He wanted to make him feel in his own mind that he's a National Hockey League player, and that at this point there's no more going back to the minors. It seems as though it's really given him a boost of confidence.
6th goal of the season for him. He had a short-handed goal a couple of games ago. beautiful setup by Camilleri, and you can tell he's feeling it right now. Everything he touches seems to turn to gold, except for his skate blade when it broke coming up for a warm-up today.
Well, and keep in mind he hit the goalpost in the first period too.
So a tight 1-1 game is suddenly a 4-1 Calgary lead.
Good thing I got those stats out of the way when I did.
Because that changed quick. You put the reverse kibosh on him. Here's Nugent Hopkins working the puck in. Edler back to the line. Klefbom works it down the boards. Trying to cut out front. He does. Got it loose to Lander. Jams away, and it's kept up by Ramo as bodies fly at the top of the crease. So the Flames explode for 3 as they are separated in a minute and 47 seconds spent. 4-1 Calgary leading Edmonton on Hockey Night in Canada.
Onto the ice that had to be slid off. Camilleri will not soon hear the end of it, and I think we can all agree, nor will he ever make the same mistake again. Rick.
Thank you, Scott. Scott Oak digging deep. That's hilarious.
That might be one of the more unusual things we've heard.
Well, I couldn't believe how quickly he got back on the ice after he left. Had it been broken, that would have been a different story, but now that makes sense.
That's a new system in place this year. A bunch of the teams are trying. Really cool and efficient. You can change the blade in the butt.
Oh, wow. What a shot by Glenn Cross off the post and in, and it's all Calgary right now as they go up 5-1 on the Oilers.
What speed, and the combination of that speed and one of the most wicked wristers in the game, Curtis Glencross. He's had a really difficult season with injuries, and he gets this with speed right here, and then from a real sharp angle. That's about as perfect a shot can be. Now it looks as though we're going to get Ben Scrivens coming in. Fast has been amazing. He's been terrific since coming over here, though. This is his first ordinary game as an Edmonton Oiler. I mean, hard to blame him on that shot. Was that as quick a wrist shot as you've seen it?
That thing had eyes, too.
Wow.
But 5 goals on 16 shots. And 4 goals in 3 minutes and 5 seconds, Kelly, in the second period by the Flames, past Victor Fost. And that's it for him as Ben Scrivens comes in. And this game has broken wide open. 12:42 to go in the second period. It's a 5-1 Calgary lead. Glencross gets his 8th of the year. Stajan and Giordano with the assists.
The Calgary goal scored by number 20, Curtis Glencross.
Chris Russell back in his own zone. Over to Butler. Back for Russell. Everly tipped out, but Russell's able to get control up the boards. Lander cut it off. Nugent Hopkins trying to work it off the boards. Checked by Backlund. And he finds Camilleri. Back for Backlund over the line. Cuts out front, but he couldn't get to the loose puck. And Marincin took it away. And then gave it away. Butler from the line put it wide of the goal. Everly waits for it. He'll chip it to the blue line. Byron knocked it down. Petrie able to clear. Ahead for Lander. Has a bit of room with a shot. And that's wide of the goal. Ramel may have got a piece of that. Everly onto the loose puck. Down low. Back out front for Lander. He shot it wide. Good chance there to get some momentum back. Flames turn it up ice. Monahan through center. Long shot wide of the goal. Colborne to it on the far side. Checked by Hendricks. And the puck's flipped out to center. Joe Colborne there. This is Schmid with the pass. Flames have to retreat. Pitlick with a big hit in the corner. Wotherspoon takes that. Gets it to Schmid behind the net. Back for Wotherspoon. Out to Monahan. Cuts to the middle. Over the line. Swings wide left. Monahan down the wing. Trying to feed it out front. That was cut off. Gordon takes control for the Oilers. Up the boards. Not out. Kept onside. Pass to Monahan and his skates. Puck poked to the line by Schultz, and he'll chase after it at center ice. Now Gordon trying to get there. Can't. Puck played out. Ferentz puts it right back in. The Oilers late in the shift tag up and change. Off the bench goes Fraser. Ahead for Gazdic. Fourth line out for Edmonton. Luke Gazdic knocked away from him, but it bounces over a stick out front to Ryan Smith. He can't corral it. Smith gets it back to the right point. Klefbom works it down the boards. Leaves it for Smith. Slap shot deflects high over top of the net. Jones onto it on the far side. Plays it to the front of the goal, deflected behind the net by Boma. That's Gazdic for the Oilers. Klefbom at the line with a long shot that misses. Ryan McGrattan goes to it. Can't clear. Kept onside. A bouncer comes to Smith along the boards. Here's Wotherspoon in the corner, hit by Gazdic. Smith got it out front, shot wide by Jones, and the puck goes out of play. And that draws a crowd. Linesmen get in there. Looks like cooler heads will prevail. We're approaching the midway mark of a wild second period, Kelly.
After what was an extremely close game, this is a turn of events that led to the 4 goals by the Calgary Flames. Mike Camilleri, Matt Stajan on a penalty shot. He beats Fost. And then Paul Byron is beneficiary of this wonderful play by Mike Camilleri. And then, of course, Glenn Cross with just an amazing wrister.
4 goals, 3 minutes and 5 seconds apart. 5-1 Calgary. Here comes Glenn Cross on the other wing this time. Leaves the puck in the corner. Stajan trying to get there. Gets it to Hoodler. Back to the point to TJ Brody. He's had a good game. Hoodler works it across. Now Stajan drops it off for Brody. Yuri Hoodler tied up by Marincin. Glenn Cross to it near boards. Petrie checks him, and he'll work the puck out himself. Jeff Petrie, who's got the Oilers' goal in this game, was a 1-0 goal in the power play early in the hockey game. Seems like an eternity ago now.
No kidding. Excellent power play goal, mind you, but Flames with lots of resiliency in this game.
Michael Backlund will work the puck to his own line and play it off of a skate and out to center ice past the midway mark of the second period. Schultz to Nugent Hopkins. Everly into the forecheck. Wins the battle. Down low to Nugent Hopkins. Here's Lander. Sharp angle. Put it across the crease out the other side. Everly in the corner. Behind the net for Lander. Byron's lost his stick. Lander's trying to work the puck to the front of the goal. Forced to play it back to the line for Ference. He'll fire it down low for Nugent Hopkins. Twisting away from Backlund. Leaves the puck in the corner. Schultz in deep. Gets the puck to Everly. Out front of the goal for Lander. Hopped over his stick. Took a bounce. Lander gets it back. Goes to the other side. That's deflected away. And Camilleri will bring it out. Late in the shift. Dumps the puck in and turns to the bench and a change. Justin Schultz to Everly. And he takes a hard hit on the far side. As Monahan winds up with the puck. Lays it back in for the Flames, who are out shooting Edmonton 16-12. Pitlick back the other way with a wrister. That goes off Ramos' stick over top of the net and off the glass. Fraser activates from the left point. Gets it behind the net to Matt Hendricks. Looking to play it out front. He's tied up by Schmid. Pins him up against the boards. Butler goes to the loose puck. Colborne gets control and clears out the center ice.
After the Flames scored their 5th goal, the Oilers have had 3 pretty good shifts, trying to claw their way back into it. Gotta like the fact that they haven't hung their heads and given up.
Battle at center ice. Agostino puts it in, heads to the bench himself. 7.5 to go in the second period. Klefbom out of his own zone, up to Pitlick down the right side. A little too far, broken up by Chris Russell. Former Medicine Hat Tiger clears. Fraser at his own line, flips it ahead. Wotherspoon's there. Big Brian McGrattan at center ice for Boma. Poke checked at the blue line. McGrattan took a hit from Gazdic. They battle along the boards. Boma misses Smith with the check. It's Jones brings the puck down the wing. Cuts him behind the net. Gazdic's out front. The puck pinballs off some skates right to Ramo, and he's able to hang on. Inside 7 minutes left in the second period. Calgary 5 and the Oilers 1 on Hockey Night in Canada.
Really missed Jordan Eberle last game, and here's an example of what he can do. He's so good with the puck. Protects the puck right here from Chris Russell. Started the down low play right there, a bit of a cycle, and so it led to this play right here. Nugent Hopkins now spots. Lander, he gets a pretty good chance from there. And speaking of Lander, boy, have I ever noticed more of a confident player in the last few games. Starting to show a little bit of development.
Puck goes out of play in the Calgary zone. Faceoff will come outside the blue line.
It's time for the Crown Royal Icebreaker. Why not try Crown Royal Maple on the Rocks? Crown Royal, the official whiskey partner of the NHL.
It's been 7 minutes since the 5th Calgary goal and the goaltender change, and the Oilers, you're right, Kelly, they have not hung their heads. In fact, Calgary hasn't had a shot on goal since that point.
That's right.
And Edmonton's had a few chances.
And it started with this line, too, after. It was the Gagne line that was sent out afterwards. They had a terrific shift. Gatzik's line had a terrific shift. And then Nugent Hopkins.
And they're right back in on the forecheck, jamming the puck at the side of the goal. It's loose, and now Ramo able to cover up for a whistle.
This is that determination that we're talking about with the Oilers right now. Ramo's strong on the post here because Perron is strong on the forecheck, and that leads to the Hall turnover. And they're not going to be denied right now. They're using their strength right now. Perron, Hall, and Gagne. Ramo, this is an important time right here because when you go up 5-1, sometimes you take your foot off the opponent's throat, so you need your goaltender to make a few big saves, and he's been there so far for him.
Here's Butler working the puck out to center ice, fires the puck in, Scrivens out of the goal to stop it behind the net. Plays the puck to the corner. Oilers working up the boards, and Hall will fire it to center ice. Perron, Gagne, slapper off the glove of Ramo. Deflected that wide, but kind of an awkward save by the Flames goaltender. Camilleri takes it away at the blue line, works it back with numbers. Backlund over the line, Byron's out front. Pass never got through as Perron cut it off. Backlund gets it back, throws it to the slot. Across to Camilleri on the right side. He's had a good night, and he draws a penalty there as Ferentz got the stick between the legs and took down Camilleri. Oilers going back on the power play. It'll be their third of the game. They're 1 for 2 so far tonight as Ferentz and Camilleri have a little chat here with 5:55 to go. So the Flames going on the power play, pardon me, with 5:55 to go in the second period. 5-1 Calgary on CBC. So the Flames on their third power play with a 5-1 lead here in the second period. Ferentz in the box for tripping. 0 for 2 tonight with the man advantage. Oilers get a chance to clear and do off the stick of Giordano and back to the Calgary line. Not 16 apiece, but here comes Hudler with a chance for a quick break and a shot. Scrivens makes his first save, and it's a good one as he gloves that shot from Jiri Hudler and hangs on.
Jiri Hudler knew right there that he had a perfect lane set up. That was an unbelievable pass from Chris Russell, tape to tape. Or it's Giordano. That's good pickup by Hudler and Scrivens with what he makes it look pretty easy, doesn't he? That's the kind of glove save I was looking for.
He came in 8 minutes ago. I hadn't seen a shot until that one. As the puck comes outside the zone, Russell regroups in his own end on the power play. Backlund at center ice. Petrie to it. Fires it off the glass. Took a weird hop, but right to Marincin. He'll gulp that back to the Calgary blue line. Russell. Backlund over the line, but Flames offside with 1:03 left in the power play.
Temper's boiling over a little bit here. Is there a bit of an exchange here with Dallas Eakins and Taylor Hall? Taylor Hall in the far left of the bench right here. David Perron trying to calm him down. Dallas Eakins going over. That's what happens when you've had a miserable season, and it's not easy going through this, and from time to time your tempers will boil over.
Flames with control of their own zone inside 50 seconds now left in their power play as Hudler works the puck to the line. Verglain crossing the left side, knocked away from him by Schultz. Cleared out the center ice. Butler back to it. Oilers change up on the PK. Butler tries to take advantage. Wheels over the line. Here's Hudler with Colborne out front. Hudler sets up on the half boards instead. Glenn Cross back to Hoodler. Lets it come to Brody. He's had a good game tonight as Hoodler feeds it down low behind the net to Colborne. He's checked. And the puck's fired down the ice. Butler goes back, gets control. Monahan, 10 seconds left in the power play, fires the puck in. Petrie to it. Fires it up the boards. Giordano cuts it off at the left point with a shot deflected wide. Fraser runs over his man as the puck comes to Everly on the far side. And it could be a 2-on-1. Ference is out of the box. Nugent Hopkins in with a shot off the shoulder of Ramo, and the puck goes high and wide. Back come the Flames the other way. Monahan through center. Nugent Hopkins winds up with control, plays it behind his own net. 3.5 to go in the period. Flames keep the play alive in the offensive zone, at least momentarily. Schmid over there on the far point. Klefbom takes the puck in the corner. Everly at center ice. Slides it in. As the Oilers finish off a change. Mark Giordano. Long pass. Too hot to handle for Glencross, but it gets through to Hoodler. To Glencross out front the stage and bounced off a stick before he could take it to the backhand. Still loose in the slot. A shot by Glencross goes off a skate. Klefbom got in the way. Felt that one. Gagne at center ice flips the puck in, and it goes over the glass and out of play.
Kerry Ramo's been excellent in his first game after missing 15 games. Ryan Nugent Hopkins is going to get a good chance right here, 2-on-1. And Ramo just gets a piece of that. He's been so steady. There's going to be a big block right here by Klefbom. Glencross turns around, and Klefbom positions himself extremely well right there, not allowing that puck to get through to his goalie, Ben Scrivens.
Ramos 16 saves on 17 shots. Playing behind a 5-1 lead right now as the Flames have scored 4 in the second period to blow this game open. 2.5 to go in the middle frame. Calgary's won 3 straight in Edmonton. And going back a little further, 7 of their last 9 at Rexall Place. 5th and final meeting of the season series in the Battle of Alberta as Gagne takes a pass at center. Lander drops it off. Marincin with a shot, put that wide, didn't miss by much. There's a shot by Schultz off the boards up high on Ramo. He's down and covers up for a whistle.
So Marincin, we talked about him and Klefbom having good skating ability and why they're going to start to join the rush right here. Marincin just shooting this one wide, but the Oilers continue to pound pucks at the net. Here's a good example of it right here. Like Kerry Ramo, boy, he's good. You know, prior to his injury, a lot of people in the Calgary Flames organization were really starting to be impressed with the play of Kerry Ramo, and had taken a little bit to get adjusted. He's 27 years old and started getting a groove and started playing really well for the Flames before that injury.
There's a shot from the point deflected on Ramo, makes a nice right pad save there as the Oilers came close to getting their second. A shot by Jones goes wide. Ference back at the point. Ramo played the last 4 years in the KHL. It's a different game.
Yep. Especially the pucks coming out of the corners. Every goaltender that's played in Europe has told me that you can almost rest when the puck's in the corner on a European ice surface, a larger surface, whereas of course here you can't because the puck's very dangerous coming out of a corner and so easy to attack the net from the corner.
There's Colborne getting it out front for Monahan, and it's chipped to the end boards. Boyd Gordon coming back on the back check. Fires it ahead, and it goes off the stick of Brody into the Calgary bench as we approach the final minute of play in the second period.
Another terrific save by Kerry Ramo. There's a deflected puck right in front and just excellent reflexes right here. Watching it play, wow, that was great focus right there. How about this pass too? You know what? I can just loft it right out and I can try and hit my teammate Lance Boma and he gets it over and we almost get a chance right there. Good vision by Ramo to headman that puck.
Here's Hoodler at center ice, works the puck over the line. Here's Stajan. Got it out front for Glencross, partially fan on the one-timer as we've hit the final minute of play in the period. Pass comes back to Giordano. Now to Hoodler. Behind the net to Stajan. Glenn Cross out front. Pass never connected. Oilers take control. Hendricks able to get it out to center ice. Flips it in. Pitlick trying to pick it up. Does. Pocket picked by Brody. TJ Brody will lead the way down the right wing. Turns just inside the line to Stajan. Back for Hudler. He's checked. And Matt Hendricks will be joining Kelly and Scott at After Hours, along with Jordan Eberle tonight. Feeds it ahead as the Oilers dump it in. 17 seconds to go. Jeff Petrie opened the scoring in this game. 4.5 minutes into the power play. Flames have had 5 unanswered goals since. 4 of them here in the second period. As the horn sounds and tempers flare as Lander and Camilleri do a bit of jousting in the corner.
Lander laid a pretty big hit on Camilleri just as the buzzer went. Camilleri, of course, wasn't very happy. Veteran like Camilleri always will take exception to a play like that from a rookie. So here it is. Buzzer sounds. Everybody's stopped playing at that moment. Lander trying to earn some respect around the league. He thinks he's doing what's right and what's competitive, and Mike Camilleri, of course, takes exception to that.
Well, Camilleri started a 4-goal outburst, 3 minutes and 5 seconds apart in the second period. Flames 5 and the Oilers 1 after 40 minutes in Edmonton on CBC. And that comes out of a second period as Yakins has changed his jacket now, but a second period where the Oilers gave up 4 goals to the Flames. It was a 1-1 game, very evenly played. Calgary scored 4 times, 3 minutes and 5 seconds span. Camilleri, Stajan, Byron, and Glencross did the damage. Fastest 4 goals by the Flames since February 10th of 1993 when they scored 4 in a minute 21 against San Jose, and that's a franchise record.
That's unbelievable considering the teams they've had.
Absolutely. Dave Moyer, statistician, doing a great job with those numbers as well. As the Flames have taken control of this one, even though they're being outshot 19-18, third period just underway. And we start this period 4-on-4. Camilleri and Lander took penalties at the end of the second, and a shot goes wide as Nugent Hopkins pulled the trigger from the slot and missed the net. Giordano takes control of the puck and brings it out to center ice. He'll flip it in for Calgary and turn to the bench. Marincin back. Perron. Gagne. Rister wide of the goal. Perron to the puck in the left wing wall, down low to Sam Gagne. Back for Perron, picked off by Glencross. He scored a nice goal off the post and in. That made it 5-1. Butler slides the puck in. Stajan on the forecheck. A goal and a penalty shot in that 4-goal outburst. Oilers able to clear the zone out the center ice, broken up by Butler, but he hands it right back. Perron at the end of the shift will chip it in and head to the bench. 35 seconds left of the 4-on-4 as Chris Butler retreats with control. Lead pass finds Yuri Hudler. Works it out front on the backhand, trying to pull it to the forehand, but the puck goes wide of the goal. Plays it back to the line. TJ Brody down the boards. Kicks the puck to Monahan. Monahan cuts across the line. Back to Hudler. Hudler retreats. Now Schmid. Battling with Eberle. Eberle jars the puck free. Hudler can't pick it up, and Eberle's able to chip it out to center ice and race onto it himself over the line. Plays it out front of the goal. Knocked off a stick. Loose puck fed back to the near boards to Schultz. With Eberle in the corner. He's checked by Schmid. Former Oiler. Can't get the puck though as Eberle stole it back. Got it free to Nugent Hopkins. Pitlick now twisting and turning along the boards. Back to the right point. Fraser didn't have a shot. Plays the puck to the corner to Eberle. Trying to get it out front. Gets it back himself. Stick tied up by Brody, who's able to get the puck away and clear the zone as the penalties have ended. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Back comes Pitlick down the wing. With speed wheeling behind the net out the other side. Plays it back to the line and Fraser shot through traffic. Ramo down, puck loose. He couldn't corral the rebound, but Butler there to take it away. Now Backlund at center ice. Swings wide left. Byron with him. Shot by Backlund. Missed the net. Puck goes around the boards and out. Oilers start a change. Flames put it back in.
Oilers started with a fair amount of energy in this one. They're trying to get back into it, but Terry Ramo again looking pretty solid.
Oilers back on the attack in the offensive zone. Make that Jones with a pass out front looking for Gazdic. Never got through. Flames take the puck away and Sean Monahan out to center ice. That rush broken up at the line. Wotherspoon over to Schmid. Since the Flames made it 5-1, they've only had 2 shots on goal.
I know.
So Ben Scrivens has been the Maytag repairman back there since replacing Victor Foss, but the damage was already done. As Gazdic works the puck in, puts it behind the net. Smith can't catch up to it. Colborne trying to get it out for Calgary. Perron struggling to keep it on side, has to regroup at center ice.
You know, having said that, though, it's not as though the Calgary Flames are getting pelted here. They're pretty good defensive posture still, allowing a few shots, most of them from the outside like that one.
Lander steered aside easily by Ramo, and here goes Brody wheeling through center. He'll flip it in. McGrattan on the forecheck. Ferentz back to it first. Perron on the far boards. Pressure. Forced to retreat. Westgard throws a hit on Perron, but he gets the puck ahead. Lander tips it out to center ice. Dumped in on goal, scooped up by Ramo, and he'll hang on.
Oilers started strong in the first minute or so with a couple of good chances here. Nugent Hopkins, but you have to hit the net. Jordan Eberle wins the puck battle right there. Nugent Hopkins just shoots that one wide, and then Sam Gagner with another chance right there, and he shoots that wide. So best be suited to hit the net. Yuri Hudler with a nice little play right here, gets around Justin Schultz. In too deep, though, can't get a chance on Ben Scrivens. Pretty fancy stick work, though, from Yuri Hudler.
And there's Hudler stealing the puck, working it out front to Glencross with a shot, and he whistled that wide, trying to go far post. Staging back to Glencross off the skate, he scores! Kicks it to a stick and puts it 5-hole on Scrivens. Second of the game for Glencross. 6-1 Calgary.
Well, this is just a lucky goal right here by Curtis Glencross. Now, Matt Stajan does some pretty good work in the corner. This, first off, they get the chance right here. Just shoots it wide right, this one. And then Stajan finds Glencross, and this hits Justin Schultz's stick. So there's the lucky break that the Flames get. Going wide on the shot. Ben Scrivens, of course, can't predict that it's going to hit his own defenseman's stick. Goes 5-hole.
Second of the game, 9th of the season for Glencross in the 4:50 mark. Stajan picks up another point. Hudler with the other assist.
Number 18, Matt Stajan. Number 24, Yuri Hudler.
Kelly with a good eye. That was probably going 5 feet wide. That did not hit the stick. And deflect between the pads of Ben Scrivens. And the Flames with a 5-goal lead. Another shot goes wide of the goal. Big hop off the end boards. Westgarth gets the puck in the corner to Boma. He can't take it, but Schmid does. Across to Wotherspoon. Long shot. Tips off the post and in. Westgarth got a stick on that. Redirected it in behind Scrivens, and it's 7-1 Calgary.
Tyler Wotherspoon does a real good job right here. Trying to walk the line a little bit, trying to find some room, a lane to get the puck through, so he's going to take a couple of steps. Gets it, that's going 3 feet wide, and that's terrific hand-eye coordination from Westgarth. I don't know that, although it's awfully high, I wonder if that might be a bit of a pass. He definitely noticed Westgarth off to the side. A bit of a target right there, and wow. Get a look of it from the LASIK MD net cam. Terrific view of it right there.
Westgarth's second goal of the season. Wotherspoon picks up his second point. Schmid with the other helper.
Scored by number 15, Kevin Westgarth.
Westgarth's got to feel like some level of satisfaction tonight. He answered the bell against Luke Gazdic in the first period. Did well after the fight they had 3 weeks ago where Westgarth wound up on the ice after a big right hand, and then he scores a goal in the third period. That's it, 7-1 Calgary.
It's a good night for him.
To help her away from the Gordie Howe hat trick.
Let's not get greedy.
Flames scoring goals in bunches. Those 2 goals come 37 seconds apart. There's another chance for Camilleri, and Scrivens got a piece of that. They got 5 in a losing cause last night against Nashville. They've scored 7 tonight. 12 goals in the last 2 games for Calgary.
Who knew, right? Earlier this year that they'd be scoring like this?
I got a kick out of Bob Hartley. I asked him what happened last night. He goes, well, Calgary is the Stampede City. Both defenses are like saloon doors.
Not that he liked the loss, but I think he liked the game itself and their comeback, although not quite enough, but he sure played with a lot of enthusiasm and energy.
Here's Colborne in. Monahan trying a shot. That goes off Ference. Eberle back the other way. TJ Brodie broke up that rush and cleared. Nugent Hopkins will try. 5 Flames back. He dumps it in. Brodie winds up with it. Took a hit from Hall, who knocked him down, but Monahan will get it to Colborne. Hard pass to center ice. Bounces off Glencross, and they wind up going offside as Giordano brings the puck in. 12:39 to go in the third. 2 more goals for Calgary. They're in complete control. Lead the Oilers 7-1 at Edmonton on Hockey Night in Canada. All throwing the water bottle, and the coach not liking that very much, and it took a while to get him back on the ice. And here's something to Dallas Eakins.
And then Eakins gives him a little pat, and then his first shift over, he's going to make this big hit on Brodie. Before we jump to conclusions, though, I have to say, now let's take a look first at this jersey incident that just happened. And Scrivens didn't like that, so he's going to throw it back into the stands. But before, I want to go back to the Taylor Hall. Before we jump to conclusions saying it's because of that incident on the bench, I was given notice this morning that he was feeling under the weather. So there could have been a lot more to it than just the water bottle incident in the second period. And maybe the fact that at that point when you're down 5-1 and you have a player under the weather, what's the use of throwing him out there in case, unless, of course, he asks the coach for a shift or 2.
And he also played 27 minutes and 10 seconds last game.
So let's try and diffuse that before it blows up and people get crazy here.
7-1 Calgary. Another chance for the Flames as they work it in. Here's Butler with a shot. Hall got a stick in the way of that one and deflected it to the corner. Stajan gets it back, though. Here's Russell. Fakes. Plays it across. Hoodler to Stajan. In deep for Butler. Up front for Glencross, looking for the hat-trick goal. Stick was tied up by Hall. The puck goes to the corner. And now Klefbom fires it down the ice. No icing on the play. Both teams change. Butler with a lead pass. Colborne tips it in. Petrie. Now Marincin with a lead pass. Misses Pitlick at center ice. Flames regroup at their own line. Wotherspoon with the second point. Setting up that Westgarth goal. I think you're right, Kelly. I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. It just seemed, though, like he recognized Westgarth there. And it was just, I don't know, it looked too orchestrated to be luck.
Bluebirds out in full force in Edmonton. Colborne at his own line. And from Monahan. Can't corral the pass. Marincin cross ice to Ryan Smith. He'll wheel down the right wing into the zone. Drop pass to Jones. Jones with a shot. Blocked. Got it back. Threw it off the back of the net. Ference pinches. Leaves the puck on the boards. Flames take it away, and out they come. Joe Colborne to center. End of his shift. Puts it in. Scrivens out of the goal. Up the boards for Jones. Now Ryan Smith. Back to Jones. 3 Oilers to center ice. Gazdic joins the rush. Here's Smith trying to get it out front. Butler broke it up and cleared the zone. Left at center ice. Westgarth trying to pull away. Westgarth had a breakaway opportunity, but put himself offside, trying to bat that out of the air. Well, will the buyers bid in a car from the film Cool Hand Luke? A replica of Star Wars Han Solo. A Lord of the Rings self-portrait. Watch an all-new 4 Rooms tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on CBC TV.
Earlier this period on the 7th goal, we saw pretty good hands from Kevin Westgarth. How about this play right here? That's pretty close. That's just barely a high stick, but throw in the combination of going forwards to backwards. Pretty good play.
Midway through the third. Forget the Oilers led this game 1-0. It was 1-1 after the first period.
And about as closely contested game as you'll ever find.
Every stat of note was dead even, literally even. And then Calgary exploded for 4 goals in a 3-minute and 5-second span, and that was that.
Shots are still close, 21-21.
The only stat that matters is the one that says Calgary 7, Oilers 1 with 9:19 to go.
Come on, I'm trying to dress this up okay.
Mr. Brightside, Kelly Ridley. It's been a fun night if you're a Flames fan. There's no doubt about that. Petrie having trouble keeping the puck on side. There's Marincin trying to dump it in. McGrattan got in the way of that, broke his stick though. He gets a fresh stick from the bench. TJ Brodie has the puck deep in his own zone. There's it ahead for McGrattan. He'll tip it out to center ice. Petrie popped it up to Westgard. Nugent Hopkins hustles over to it.
Extra ice time for that 4th line. Calgary Flames.
And they're going to earn some more if they keep making good plays like that.
You're right.
Back they come. Well, they're changing now. Monahan's on the ice. He'll get a shot away that Scriven steered aside. Puck bounces to the corner. Hall's over there to take control for the Oilers. Off the boards and out. Boyd Gordon knocks it down. He's pinned against the glass near the penalty box. Muscled in by Colborne. Tied up by Pitlick. And flipped out by Gordon. No! Wotherspoon back for it. Schmid to Colborne. Got it to center ice. Schultz took it away. Gives the puck to Ference. He'll wheel out to center ice left wing. Cut off by Colborne, so he dumps it in. Ramo out of the goal to feed it up the boards. Deflected, no icing as it goes back to the Oilers' end. Scrivens cuts it off in the corner and leaves it there. 7.5 to go. 3rd period of play. 5th and final meeting. And barring a miracle, in the 5-game series, the road team will have won every game in the Battle of Alberta this year. Shot from the left side by Russell goes wide. Puck played back to the line of Butler. Over to Russell. Slapper off the toe of Scrivens wide of the goal. Pudler got it out front to Glencross with a shot at the flex wide. Jones there to clear it out to Gazdic at center ice. Smith gets it in. Gazdic out front with a shot, never got it through as Butler got in the way. Chris Russell goes to the puck in the corner. Butler to Stajan. Carries over the line. Shot by Glencross, scores! Hat-trick goal for Curtis Glencross. Makes it 8-1 Calgary.
Matt Stajan does a lot of the work right here. Weeding his way up the middle through the ice. Knows where his partner's going to be, Glencross, and through traffic, through the defenseman's legs. Glencross, he does have that great release, so, oh, that's deflected again. After it gets past Klefbom, not sure exactly what it hits, but there's no question about it. After it left the stick of Glencross, it hit something on the way.
Some hats on the ice. Calgary fans in the stands at Edmonton. Hat trick for Glencross, 3rd of his career. 9th goal of the season for him. More hats coming on the ice. And the Flames have scored 8 goals on 24 shots tonight. Glencross from Stajan and Butler. So Matt Stajan's got a 4-point night with a goal and 3 assists. And it's all Calgary.
The Calgary goal scored by number 20, Curtis Glencross. The assist.
Brodie back for the puck in his own zone. Around the boards. Worked out by Bowman. Back in by the Oilers. Brodie onto it. Lander on pressuring Brodie. Perron comes in as well. Ryan McGrattan near boards. He's tied up along the wall. Brodie gets control. Giordano. Lifted out. Tipped in by Westgard. Petrie back for it. Gagne over the line. Drops it off for Perron. Winds up with a slapper. Stopped by Ramo. Rebound loose. Chopped towards the slot. Knocked down by McGrattan. And he puts it off the boards and out. Sean Monahan at center ice. Worked through the neutral zone by Schmid. 5.5 minutes to go. Flames trying to get it out front. They jam it on goal. Scrivens paddle down, able to keep it out. And the Oilers cough it up. Schmid cuts out front with a shot. He put that just wide. Now it's cleared. Taylor Hall racing after it. Down the right wing, drops it off. A turn pass from Eberle, never connected. Hall keeps it on side to Eberle. Threw it out front, looking for Schultz pinching in. Eberle gets it behind the net. There's Hall in the corner. Eberle. Hall. Shot. Ramo pad save. Rebound corralled and carried to the line and out by Agostino. Colborne and Monahan with him. Here's Monahan. Trying to get it out front. Schultz blocked it. Agostino gets it back to Monahan with a shot. Scrivens knocks that down and covers up at the top of the crease. It is all Calgary. 8-1. They lead the Oilers in Edmonton on CBC. Career hat trick for Calgary's Curtis Glencross.
It's not been an easy season for Glencross. 2 lower body injuries this year. This is only his 27th game for the Calgary Flames. Just coming back from a high ankle sprain. Gets a little bit of a lucky break on that one, and it's good to see for Glencross. Everybody needs a little bit of rewards from time to time, if you will. How about this for Giordano and Brody, though? They both have 2 points. Pretty good, right? How about a +5 each? It's a pretty good night for them as well.
8-1 Calgary leading. You saw the stick. Glencross gave it to the trainer. Going to save that one. A chance out front for the Oilers, chopping it away to loose puck, and Ramos down, unable to cover up for a faceoff. Shots are 25-23. Calgary, but scoreboard is lopsided.
And that's what I want to talk about. Bob Hartley and his coaching staff should get a lot of credit. Keep in mind, a stat I gave you right at the beginning of the game. Entering this one, they had gone 8 straight games, allowing 26 or fewer shots in that stretch, including twice, only 14. They're at 23 now. So in 4:21, if they can hold the Oilers to 3 or less, mission accomplished again. 9th straight.
Brian McGrattan, right wing, works it out to Westgarth at center ice. Played it to an open wing. Fraser took it away. 4 minutes left in this one. Ryan Smith behind the net for Jones. He has to chase it on the other side. Tied up by Schmid. Smith comes over. McGrattan breaks that up and gets it out to center ice. Boma over the line. Stick lifted by Smith. Boma gets it back with a shot. Pad saved by Scrivens. Gazdic corrals the rebound. Smith at center. Cut off by Butler. McGrattan back to take control, and the big man rumbles through the neutral zone over the line. Cuts to the middle. Brian McGrattan, nifty drop pass to Butler with a tip. They hit the crossbar. Where's the puck? Scrivens is down. It's under him, and he's finally able to hang on for a faceoff as that redirect by Agostino rattled off the crossbar. 8-1 Flames, 3.5 left in Edmonton on Hockey Night in Canada. And home cooks compete to have their savory snacks featured on grocery store shelves next weekend on an all-new Recipe to Riches. That's Wednesday night at 9 on CBC TV. It's 8-1 Calgary, almost 9-1 as Kenny Agostino that close to his first NHL goal right there, Kelly.
Pretty good chance. Chris Butler with the original shot. You know, Butler's been a much improved player. I just want to talk about him for a second because start of the year wasn't the best. His lots of turnovers, but I'd have to say in the last half of the year, he's maybe the most improved player, one of the steadiest players, and he's really made great strides this year. Very few turnovers now. Everybody will make them from time to time, but not as often as he once was.
And he's second in the league in blocks, or was coming to the game tonight with 182 this season.
Kind of helps when you play with a really smart player like Chris Russell, of course, but give Chris Butler a lot of credit for the improvements he's made in this game.
Well, those old Medicine Hat Tigers make everybody look better.
I didn't want to go down that road, but I was thinking that.
Sean Monahan with a shot off the wing, steered aside by Scrivens, and cleared out. Agostino, another chance a moment ago that Scrivens stopped with his pad. Second NHL game for Agostino. Came over in the Iginla trade. Won the NCAA title with Yale last year. On the bench right now, though, as the Flames work it in. Here's Bloma making a move. Cutting behind the net. Fourth line back out there for Calgary. That's a luxury you have when you're up by 7 goals. You get these guys on the ice more, and they've been effective.
And having fun.
Bloma and McGrattan.
Yeah, absolutely. How fun is that for them to get to play some meaningful minutes?
Westgarth with a goal. Shot by the Oilers, deflected into the corner. Nugent Hopkins to it. Taylor Hall behind the net. Trying to get it out front. Bounces to Westgarth. Now McGrattan back for Westgarth. Picked off by Marincin at center ice. Quick up to Eberle. Drop pass to Hall. Cuts to the slot with a shot. Pad saved by Ramo. Quietly having a good night tonight as he got the right leg out. Butler there to clear the zone.
Especially late in the second when the Oilers made a bit of a charge when they're down 4 and 5-1. I thought Kerry Ramo was really good at that stretch.
Minute and a half to go. Oilers back in. Pittley with a shot off the wing that misses. Agostino back out there. Monahan tipped it up to Colborne, who puts it in. Fraser to it. Colborne stealing. Out front, Agostino with a shot. Scrivens save. Rebound! Pad save Scrivens. They want to get the rookie his first NHL goal. He's had some chances here in the third. Gets the puck back to Colborne. Colborne back out front for Agostino. He couldn't get a stick on it. Fraser got a stick in the way. Final minute of play. Edmonton faithful happy. This one's almost over. 8-1 Calgary. Waterspoon to center, fires the puck in. It rims around the boards and right back out again. Where do you go from here? Oilers have been playing much better of late. But tonight, can't do much right as the puck goes out of play with 19.4 seconds to go.
Well, make sure that their spirits are high. Here's Hall with a pretty good chance. Ramo making an easy save. And then Agostino getting a couple good chances right here. Bob Hartley said this week when he first saw him that he's got pretty good hands, good vision. So when you're talking about the Oilers, next time you have practice, it's awfully tough, but you got to find a way to keep your head up and continue playing. You can't ever give in to the losing feeling.
Got to get back to the things you were doing right.
Exactly.
You know, coming into this game, they'd gone 10-8-4, playing better, but Calgary with different ideas tonight. One more whistle with a second to go. So one more face-off before this one is official. The Flames, this is the most goals they've scored, Kelly, since February 14th, the Valentine's Day game against Colorado. They won that one 9-1. That was in 2011. So biggest offensive output for Calgary in more than 3 years.
And great defensively again. Under 26 shots. They're 25 shots against Calgary Flames. So they continue to play great in both ends of the ice right now.
Kari Ramo makes 24 saves on 25 shots. The Flames put 8 past the combination of Fost and Scrivens on 31 shots. Hat trick for Glenn Cross. 4 goals in a 3-minute and 5-second span in the second period put this one away. As the Flames roll over the Oilers 8-1 in Edmonton. Back to Studio 42. Here's Ron MacLean.